Hi, welcome to the Rod and Cyndee podcast. How are we doing today? I'm really excited about today. You know, sitting in for Cyndee movie is the one and the only Cynthia Dunn Selph.
Oh, you said it right. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Great
always
to be here.
I know. I'm always saying something like, Cynthia did herself or something like that. I mean, I always say something like that. I screw that up all the time. I'm really happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here in my own dining room.
Yes. We're doing the mobile, podcast here and that. And Cynthia and I just gone through 3 days of some wonderful, beautiful stuff. And then we'll talk about that later. But we did, didn't we?
We did. We had a great weekend. Very full of energy.
Absolutely. For some of you that have been in the dark or in a closet or in the basement and don't know who Cynthia Dunn is, let me introduce you.
Well, thank you. Yes.
She's been one of my mentors. She's the one that kind of helped me awaken who I am a long time ago. And she's great. She's a clairvoyant. She's a medium.
A Reiki master.
A Reiki
Thanks
master.
To you.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. She has so many talents that I'm always impressed to be around her.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And, of course, you're my brother from another mother.
Absolutely.
We have a good time together.
Well, we do, don't we? We always, for some odd reason, it's just, we always pick up from where we left off. It doesn't matter where we're at, what happens.
Right, or how long it's been since we've talked. It just starts
Absolutely.
right back up.
Yep.
We're also doing a little videotape, so I want to.
Oh, hi, everybody. Absolutely.
This is just going to be just a few minutes of the videotape just to put on Facebook so that everybody can kind of see what we're doing because it's interesting. And then we'll send you over to where you can find this podcast so that you can follow along with the rest of it. Hear the rest of our discussion today.
Absolutely. Isn't that exciting that we get that to be live in some way or sense that, live on Facebook, and then they can tune in at any time to the Rod Cyndee podcast.
Right.
Isn't that cool? Rod Cyndee podcast is on iTunes for now.
Wonderful.
And we are actually in the top 10 of the spiritual podcasts.
That's fantastic.
It's really funny. I love Joel Osteen that. And so lately we've been fighting with Joel Osteen, beating us out and that. And so I kind of like that. It's kind of fun, a fun little rival there. And everything.
So they just go to iTunes and they look up the Rod and Cyndee podcast.
But Cyndee is spelled weird, Cyndee. And so, it's the Rod and Cyndee Spiritual Podcast. Now, that's where they can find it. I just found out last week, and I forgot to even tell you this, is that we're on our iHeartRadio now.
That's fantastic.
We had enough downloads and everything else, so we're now on iHeartRadio. And I also know that you can go to Google and put in the Rod and Cyndee Podcast, and it pulls right up.
Wonderful.
We're also on Facebook. The Rod Cyndee Podcast is on
Great.
Facebook too, so
Great.
you follow us along there and everything. You want to be part of this, or you want to actually sponsor one of the shows, and that please contact us.
Yes.
We would love to have more sponsors for this to keep us going. Last sponsor was peachlook.com.
Oh, yes, the leggings.
The leggings one. We gave away some leggings to Gail, and I was excited about that. She's a friend of mine. She won we did the random drawing, and she won a pair of leggings. How exciting is that? We have other people lined up that's going to be giving away stuff and everything too on our podcast. But enough about us.
Yes.
What about you?
Oh, me.
Yes, we were starting to talk about you, and then we got off track here. And then isn't that what we said we weren't going to do?
Exactly.
You said we need a list of things to do
to talk about so that we don't get squirreled.
Squirreled. I like that.
Yes.
Squirreled. It's kind of like, what was that?
So, what do you want to know?
Well, the interesting concept is that I want to know why this cat is meowing at my feet right now. So,
yeah, just because.
Just because. Thank you. Cyndee is a cat whisperer. Because.
Yes, we're coming to you from my dining rooms with some creatures and Leo.
Creatures and Leo, yes. Let's
my
not
favorite
forget
creature.
that because beautiful Leo may actually just walk in and say something to us, because he may even forget that we're even here. Well, we love Leo.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. And this cat loves me for some reason. He's rubbing up against my arm now and everything. It's funny. Every time we do a podcast, we're at Cyndee's house in the back doing podcasts in Phoenix, Arizona, and her dog just would not leave us alone. And that's what-
They like the energy.
they like the energy. As soon as we start introducing it, they're there. I don't know if you saw the show that we did for the journey, the path,
Yes,
the
yes.
documentary and that. Their dog kept coming in and
Yes.
escaping. They had their dog tied up in a room, and it would escape so it could be there, and just sat at the bottom of our feet. It's this beautiful pug. We call it the pug life, and that it was so much fun.
That's great. Yeah, animals love the energy when it gets
Absolutely.
going. And anytime we start talking about anything, we always get a lot of energy going.
Yes, we do.
Which is what we did this weekend.
Oh my gosh, didn't we? You want to talk about this weekend or now?
Oh,
or
sure.
do you want to
Yeah,
just,
why not?
There's
Yeah.
other things. I mean, we first thing we did a fair.
Right, we did the
I don't even know where I'm at. So
I know.
It's like I'm
We
in
did-
California somewhere, right?
We did the Amador Health and Wellness Fair.
Oh, really?
Yes. That was at the Senior Center in Jackson, and there was, I don't know, about 30 vendors. It was,
Oh, yeah.
it
at
was a
least,
nice
yeah.
fair.
It was a very nice fair. Yes.
And we were both doing readings.
Oh gosh, yes. And no competition in the readings and that when we're doing that, but we always ask each other, "How many did you do? How many did you do?" And I always tell I don't remember because I don't want her to feel
But
bad
he
that I
does.
did like 20 of them and you did 2. No, just kidding. we were tied.
Yeah, I was
actually
gonna say,
tied,
we did
'cause-
the same amount of
Same
readings.
amount of
Yeah.
readings. And that's what it normally does. It always ends
Yeah.
up to be that way. And Cyndee's the one that brought me here, so I'm excited about that. And so, yeah, I thank you and I appreciate that you
Oh
being
yes,
here.
it was wonderful that you could be here. It was kind of a last minute.
Right, absolutely.
And lined up some things to do, and then Sunday we were at a private party basically.
Oh yes! Oh my gosh! Yes.
Yes, in Salida and
Salida, California. That's where we're
Salida,
at.
California. Yes.
So, what is a big city that's next to Salida so I can get my bearings
It's
here?
south of Stockton.
South of Stockton.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
It's
north of Francisco or
No, you're quite a ways from San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco, not Francisco.
Yes.
Okay.
You're geographically challenged,
I have
aren't you?
no idea where I'm at right
it's
now.
a wonder you made it here,
Yes, I drove through snow, sleet, and rain to get here.
just like a mailman.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was excited about getting here. And the funny thing is that I was scared of driving in the snow. I really was.
Really?
I'm born and raised in South Dakota, and I drove in the snow from the first day of driving and I shouldn't be scared. I mean, we had the big tanks, rear-wheel drive tanks
Oh,
that we
yes.
drove through snow and ice and everything
Sure.
else. Had never had a problem. We just drove right through it. I have this front-wheel drive car, and I should not even worry about it. It took me probably 4 hours of driving in just plain snow to realize this is not bad.
It's okay.
It's
yes.
all right.
It all comes back just
Absolutely.
like a bicycle, right?
Exactly. There's they have the road graders out just like that. They have de-icers and everything else.
Exactly.
It was just fun. I mean, I
And
did.
pretty, yes.
Well, it was. It was
Yeah.
gorgeous. That's a part of the thing is that we just have to take a look at something. We can make it worse or good.
Exactly.
And-
It's all about the attitude. It's all about
Right.
what you put your attention on.
Absolutely.
If you put your attention on this is going to be a horrible drive, guess what?
It's going to be a horrible drive.
Exactly.
Yes. We've been actually talking a lot about that this weekend.
Right, about how energy works.
Exactly. So let's go back to where we
Salida.
were at. Salida, and that there was 2 gorgeous women that set this up for us. And I
Yes.
just love these women. Anyway, so they set
Hi,
this up.
Judy and Patty.
Hi, Judy and Patty. Hi, girls. So they set this up and they allowed me to come because it was last minute because the class I was going to teach got
Right.
canceled. And
Right.
so I'm going to get to be part of this beautiful thing that you're doing. I
Right.
didn't want to take anything away from you or anything, but I thought how beautiful this would be just to be part of it. And it was. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about anything else. And it was just about being part of that energy and getting to be with my friend anyway. So we drive there. It's a beautiful drive too, and everything else.
Yes, through vineyards and almond trees.
Yes,
and,
and cherry
agricultural
trees.
Cherry trees, yeah.
It was beautiful, and that it's what a great drive, and we didn't really talk much of that. It was just more of just.
Yes.
You're sucking everything in. So we get to this beautiful house, and we walk in, and you get to sit at the grand table, and you got the grand chair and everything else. You got the beautiful chair, cushioned butt chair.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I got the hard wooden chair, and it was all right. I was appreciative of being there. Nothing wrong
You
with
had
that.
some padding for
I
it
had
anyway.
some padding. Yeah, yes, I have padding anyway. So we're sitting there, we're having this beautiful time and everything else, and lo and behold, craziness. Well, you guys listen to my podcast now. Something crazy happens to me and Cyndee or Cynthia. That there's always something going on with us.
Yes, you're a ghosty magnet.
I am. I really actually am. Ghost hunters come and look inside me to find ghosts. Yeah, absolutely. So it is. I've been like that all my life.
Really,
but not to get off point. And that is. So here we are, sitting there, and I'm watching. You're seeing this beautiful person that came in to have a reading with you, and that. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, I wonder if I'm going to actually get any readings. I'm just happy to be there, but I'm just thinking to myself, am I going to actually get any readings? And I turn, and there's a lady sitting across from me. Now, you looked and you saw this lady too.
I saw her sitting there. Yeah. She had on a white shirt and dark hair.
With glasses on.
Right.
Her hair was kind of pulled back a little bit. She looked a little pale and everything else. That only thing I remember about the reading was she had Crohn's.
And I don't remember her walking in. I don't remember her sitting down. I just looked up and saw her there. And,
absolutely. Yeah. And that was the whole thing, too, is because I kind of got distracted by somebody had walked in the room, and I turned and I was looking, and I turned back and she was sitting there.
Right.
And I don't remember how she got there either. And everybody else, they introduced her and said, this is so-and-so.
Right.
There.
Everybody else the rest of the day, they were brought in by Patty and Judy.
Absolutely.
And introduced to us.
Right.
Except for this lady.
And so here we are, okay? At the end of the day, and then they go to me, Rod, how many readings do you do? And I told them, and then they're like, well, that's one more than what we thought.
That's, yes. It's to say, this is all we have on our list. Yes. And we went through the list of names.
And they said you didn't have any before lunch, but after lunch, you had all these people and that. It's like, no, I had 2 before lunch, and then, I remember her, and they marked her off and that. But they don't remember that other lady.
Yes.
They don't see her.
They didn't see her. No one saw her walk in. No one talked to her. So we had a ghost visitor, a ghost reading.
How crazy is that, though?
Yes.
I mean, that was fun just to think about that, how fun that was to know that I gave a reading to a ghost. So what kind of ghost questions would there be? You'd think that they would know on the other side.
Yeah, really.
So maybe, what if it was dimensional?
Exactly. Maybe it's a slip through from another parallel universe.
Exactly. I mean, we're dimensional walkers. We can pull information from other sides of the dimension and everything else.
Right.
Maybe that's what we did. Maybe this lady saw this and traveled with us.
Maybe.
One of us, me,
you,
probably.
Yes. It's always you. Yeah.
But the interesting, Judy,
yes.
She actually thought she saw her at the corner of her eye.
But we had to talk about it for a long time before she kind of vaguely remembered maybe somebody sitting there.
Maybe kind of vaguely, exactly. Yeah. But isn't that interesting is that a lot of people start out that way in seeing spirits is at the corner of their eye.
Right.
And when Judy said, well, I think I caught something in the corner of my eye, and that says something right there, is because as walking dimensional, that sometimes they do come out of the corner of your eye, and that
and those little shadows or little sparkles.
Yes, because they're slipping through the envelope in that, and that's why it's corner of the eye. You can't see them peripherally because how it's kind of angled in a sense,
right?
And so that's why the corner of the eye, because the angle of it, that you catch it, and then it becomes peripheral, and then you can't see it anymore.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sure, why not?
Whatever.
Whatever works.
Whatever comes in my head, I say, and it's not me making stuff up. It's just I know that. It's got to be something about that.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then yesterday we were at Possibilities in Pioneer. Possibilities, which is owned by Linda J. French, and it's a wonderful little tea house that we do. I do events at quite often. So it was fun. Rod and I went back to our old routine. We used to do Tune In Tuesdays once a month, or we were doing
twice a week. Well, we started
twice a month. Yeah,
we started doing it every week.
Right,
and then then it was like, there's a lot of work to do.
Exactly.
And so then we moved to every other week, and then we ended up doing once a month.
Yeah.
And then you moved away.
Yes, yeah, that was in Phoenix, and we had so much fun doing that. It was really great to be able to do that here locally where I live now. And we had a full house. Everybody had a great
wasn't
time.
that great?
Yeah, Linda made great vegetarian chili for us.
Yeah, that was yummy.
It
chili.
was.
Oh
Excellent.
my gosh,
Yeah.
I have to get that recipe in that. Seriously, I mean, I've sat in a whole room full of estrogen, and and I didn't want to open my mouth. Say, can I get that recipe from you? By the way, before you leave.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it was amazing.
But we had a lot of great questions, a lot of great energy. It's been a weekend full of energy sharing, really.
Energy sharing. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it was. And we kind of take the day off and to do this recording that because
Right.
I got to skedaddle
All right,
out
right.
of here and head to Phoenix because I got some
Yes,
stuff going
yes.
on.
And what
in
do you have
Phoenix.
going on in Phoenix? I know you have lots of stuff coming
Yeah,
up.
it's really interesting. You taught me how to use my calendar on my phone.
Very
So
good.
So when I get back, it looks like I'm doing a fair on one of the days. And I can't figure out
Yes,
what
really?
day it is because
You're
it's like
so
over
funny.
2 days. Yeah. So I think it's Sunday. I'm doing the fair on the 4th. Okay.
okay.
So I'm doing this fair, and it sounds like I'm going to be doing readings there also, now,
Great.
which I normally don't. Cyndee and I usually do synchronized healings or
Right.
whatever else.
Uh-huh.
I think we're just going to do readings, and that it's
Good. You're kind of in the groove. You
well,
might
I
as well
guess
go
so.
for it.
Well, the funny thing is that she tells me she goes, you're going to be doing some more medical intuitive readings, right? And I was like, no, I really don't. She goes, no, Rod, seriously. She goes, I really think you should be doing that. I get here. What do you tell me?
Right. Medical intuitive readings.
It's like,
Yes,
oh my gosh,
yes.
seriously?
Yes,
So-
but we did over 30 readings.
oh,
each
absolutely, yeah,
this
absolutely, yeah,
weekend. And
yeah.
That's a lot of
Looking
readings.
at 30 bodies in through each body
Right.
and through the energy and deciphering what is. I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
I may be a little rusty because I've been doing more teaching than I have been readings.
Yeah.
So it was
Actually,
fun
it's
though.
probably closer to 40 when I counted up, but
Well,
that's a lot of readings.
Well, and besides that, and then the afterwards and before and
Yes,
extra
everybody-
questions and,
right,
and
everybody
everything
wants
else.
to
Absolutely,
talk and
a lot. We did a lot. Did a lot of readings. So I know this one. Then on the 6th of February, this is actually going to be in Tempe.
oh,
Yeah,
good.
it'll be in Tempe. It's the Radiant Soul Center in Tempe. It's owned by Jeanette St. Germain. Oh my
Okay.
gosh, what a beautiful soul she
Really?
is. Yes. So Cyndee Mubi and I will be doing Awaken Your Sacred Heart. It's a new Christ Conscious Golden Ray meditation event. So we're going to be
Wonderful.
part of this beautiful sacred your heart meditation that in Tempe with Jeanette.
Meditation, they're proving more and more, is the key to everything.
Oh, it is. Did I tell you that? I don't know. I've said a lot of things to you this weekend, so I'm not sure of that.
Yes.
But
What did you call it the other day? Diarrhea of the mouth?
diarrhea in the
Yeah.
mouth. Yes, I have had a lot of it lately. It's because I've just been stifled in so many things lately, and I gotta keep moving. Gotta keep moving. Anyway, so diarrhea of the mouth. Here you go. Berkeley. Again,
Yes.
it's because I've been telling you about these studies that I've been reading some of this newsletter that comes out, and they were talking about how meditation is the way of the future, and this is the way it's healing and everything else. But the way we've been meditating may been wrong.
Interesting.
A part of that meditation is they always say, clear your mind, clear your mind, clear your
Right,
mind.
right.
So a professor comes up and says, what if the things that are coming out of your mind are things that are leaving you? And you keep, if
Okay.
you try to clear it, you're shoving it back.
Oh, interesting.
So,
I've always kind of had the idea that the things that are coming to you are things that maybe you need to know.
Exactly.
It's information coming to you. So
Right.
I always say, look at the thought. If it doesn't serve you, if it's not something that, if it's just the mind clutter, then yes, let it go, push it out. But you need to pay attention to what comes in, because this is a lot of times how you get your messages.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100% on that, because I've always thought I was doing something wrong. Meditation for me, then it's like it was like 2 or 3 minutes, and then something would come in my head.
Sure.
So now, if I have an excuse saying, "Well, that's the way it's supposed to be," I could just.
But it is. The
It's
thoughts are supposed to come and go, come and go, come and go.
Absolutely, and so and not a lot of people know that's how it's supposed to be. I think that's fascinating that we even have the concept that you are told how to meditate.
Yes.
know,
That it isn't a natural thing.
it's not a natural thing. No, just the art of prayer is not a natural thing.
Yeah.
We have to be told how to do things.
Yeah, that's interesting because you would think being so important that we would naturally fall into that state. But maybe, we're pretty busy all the time, and maybe it would be our natural state.
Absolutely. Well, it should be. Everything should be natural. It's now it's like I look at you, Cyndee, and we've been working together for quite long in that, and I say it to you, and it's like, where do you have to go? Do you have to go in some certain thing to get these messages? That it just comes to you, doesn't it?
It does.
It's a natural
I do have
form.
It is now, but.
Right.
But I used to have to go into a meditation and ground myself and get into a certain state of being to be able to really receive messages. Now I can get into that space quite easily because I do this a lot.
Yes,
So,
you do. And that's the thing, is that the same with meditation. If you do this a lot, it just becomes part of the state of being.
Right.
It's just part of your natural habitat.
yes, that's why they call it a practice.
Right. Exactly. But it's interesting because then it brings up, like, my son. He goes, "Hey, Dad, I don't get to meditate that often. And what is the best course of meditation?" And he starts naming off all these different types of meditation.
Right.
And I'm like, "What? There's more than just one?"
Right. That's
Meditation's meditation. And
Yeah.
he goes, "Oh, no, you got this.
it's like yoga now. There's so many different forms of yoga.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like, I want vanilla ice cream. Well, how many flavors of vanilla ice cream can you? Oh, there's vanilla bean. There's that.
French vanilla, right, yeah.
Exactly. You can't just be back to the basics of this. It's just meditation. So I told him, I said, whatever fits his needs.
Exactly. It has to be what works for you.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you're not going to do it.
No, you
And-
won't.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
so what else do you have coming up?
I know. Keep talking here.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise, I'll start talking about what I have coming up.
I know. Well, you have to start. You're going to talk about. So on the 10th is one of the biggest reasons that I started this circuit is I was asked to come back and do the Bluestar Celestial
The Reiki.
Reiki class, and so the 10th of February I'll be at the New Vision Center for Spirit Living in Phoenix doing this wonderful event. I'm actually doing Bluestar Reiki Level 1.
And that's great. Do you want to talk a little bit about what Bluestar Reiki is?
Yes, I can if you want to take some time. No, I'm just kidding. I love
Briefly.
Yeah, briefly. So we have Pleiadians and Sirians, and we have the Big Dipper, which is the Great Bear, and they explain it that way, which makes a trinity. And within that trinity, there's many energies that flow through there. We've been taught all our life is that information, we have to bring information to us through the crown and everything else. That Blue Star is actually going to get the information.
Oh, interesting.
It's going to showing the path, giving you a path, but it really feels like going back home.
To the stars.
To the stars, back to the celestial beings. And that. Now, the thing is the reason that we've been taught that we have to go get that the information comes to us is because we're sent here to help people. We experience stuff and everything else. And as I always find it funny is that we were sent here for a reason, to experience life, help other people, blah, 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 right? But we always look to the stars and want to go back there all the time. But we chose this.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So why do we should stay here and finish our job?
This is where our work is.
This is where our work is. And so Blue Star kind of explains to why we want to go back there, because it's so beautiful and peaceful. And that Blue Star gives you that. It gives you that peace of mind.
Wonderful.
It gives you that home feeling of that, so you don't feel homesick all the time.
Great. And then once you are attuned to this, what does that do for the practitioners and when they're working with a client? Are they then passing on that energy to their clients?
Absolutely. They travel with them then. There's a transference of energy when you're doing energy work. There's a transference of energy in that. And it's like, buckle up because we're going to go for a ride.
Cool.
And clients usually feel that when you take them for a trip, and that they feel it, they know it, they come back, and you actually be working on a client and watch tears running out of their eyes.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're waking up and it's like, I have no idea why I'm crying, because it works so much on the subconscious, and that the conscious has no idea why they're crying, and then they start feeling it and everything else. And that was amazing. What did you use? What kind of energy was it? So that was Blue Star. That took me home. You know? I have a lady that has taken her Blue Star and now she's made it into actually a yoga.
Very interesting.
A meditation yoga, and that, and it's, oh my gosh, she's a beautiful soul, and she does this, and she's got quite the following now. And I think it's called Blue Star Meditation, is what she actually calls it. But it's great, and it takes you home. It's just another thing, and then the 11th.
Yes.
The 11th is
sorry, it's 111 right now as you're
talking
talking about this.
I thought of that 111
Yes.
on the 11th. These masters, loving master numbers, and that. Speaking of master, Blue Star Master Class on 11th. Same place. It's going to be at the New Vision Center and everything else. And that. Get a hold of us in any which way you can. Get my email is rodlymanaz@gmail.com, and that go online and rodlyman.com and that find out more about this. But the master class is even more in depth. It's the next day, and that you have to be at least a Reiki 1 or 2 to actually take these classes, to understand it and everything else. But these are amazing classes. These really get down to the heart of who you are, and transformation, and that. Yes, it's beautiful. And so next thing, that, good grief, I mean, I'm just sitting here looking at it, it's like, really? Valentine's Day is coming up. That's awesome. Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day, I'm actually doing an art demonstration.
Really?
I am.
Wow. We'll talk about your stuff in a second. I'm just not...
I was just... filling in the time while you're looking through your calendar.
Yeah, I know. It's like you're trying to figure out how this works. I need a paper calendar. So funny is that I'm looking into virtual assistants and that to help me out. Yeah, it's like I found a couple that's on Upwork that's kind of decent pay, and then help me out with this stuff. But I really like this because then on the 16th of February,
yes,
we traveled to Cyndee and I travel to Tempe again. And we're doing the Sacred Relationship Workshop.
Oh, that'll be great.
Oh my gosh, it's
perfect for Valentine's Day.
Exactly, absolutely. What is the sacred relationship? We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about Jesus and Mary Magdalene. We're going to bring out a little bit more of the sacred relationship of who it is and where it comes from. How can you tell if you're in a sacred relationship? And that, I don't think anybody can, but no, I'm just kidding, I'm joking. You really can. There's things about it. It's about the idea that a relationship isn't everything. There's more to than just the relationship. When we start looking from the inside out, we're going to really see the person.
Right. You have to be a whole person to be in a whole relationship.
There you go. That's actually that's perfect way of saying that.
Yes.
Is that there's that ability that you have to feel, that you have to know that you love them from the diaphragm up.
Yes, the upper chakras.
The upper chakras. The whole Carl Jung thing is that everything dies from the diaphragm lower in your relationship, but everything above the diaphragm up is a perfect relationship. So I've always loved that thought process. And then February 21st. Now, in between this, every Thursday, I'm going to be seeing clients.
Oh, that's wonderful. Where are you going to be seeing
I'm
clients?
I'm going to be at the New Vision Center. They have a treatment room there, and I'm going to be seeing clients there. And it's really, I found out how my schedule works. I looked at it, and it's like, well, that's kind of cool. I'm almost full on some of my clients. So if you guys need to get in there and that, look up my email, find out how you can get in for
Great, yes. And this is in Phoenix.
This is in Phoenix, yes. Absolutely. And then February 21st, we're going to be at Everything Just Rocks in Tempe.
Oh,
again.
wow.
Yeah, if you've never been there, that's Athena's place. And she got rocks all over the place.
Oh, my gosh, great collection of
absolutely
crystals.
Huge place. Just love the place. Energy is fantastic. But what we're doing the intuitive panel there. Do you remember that? You were on the
yes,
panel.
I used to do those
Absolutely.
with you. In fact, I think you and I are the ones who came up with it.
Yes,
but
it was our idea at the beginning. Absolutely, we should do something out here like that. Too.
Yeah, I would love that.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
So Mozella Martin, she's actually the forensic handwriter expert.
Right.
She's got many books out.
Right, and she's fantastic.
She is fantastic. She's actually has helped on different movies and forensics movies and everything else to help get the authenticity of the writing in that. And I really love her in that. So she's going to be there. Cyndee Movie, you know, we all know her from when she at the beginning of that she has come into her own with her colors and her ideas and she's opened up so much that she's got this wonderful intuitive being, and she's part of this podcast too. So you know, so this is her podcast too. But she is, and don't tell her I told her that. You know, say because don't want her big head get too big, you know, or anything. But we used to have Courtney Long. We used to, but now. Jamie Clark, because Courtney's really busy. I guess she's got some retreats that she's doing that, so she couldn't be part of it. So, but Jamie Clark,
who's a medium,
has this great radio station. He's known all over the place. This guy is a great medium. You know, some of the stuff that he says, and
like me, who's a large. Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, let's move past that, all right? How you see yourself, if you see it that way, that's where you're going to be.
It's my favorite psychic joke.
I know it is. It's just, I never got it. So I finally did. Somebody explained it to me, and now I feel bad that I called you large.
I'm just trying to pay you back for being your straight man on yesterday.
Oh my gosh, yes. That was so fun. I'm sorry. We made people laugh, cry, and everything else.
Gosh,
it's like one of those movies that come out. This movie will make you laugh. This movie will make you cry. It's the Rod and Cyndee show. Cynthia show. Rod and Cynthia Dunn herself show. Anyway, so we're going to be doing this expert panel where you write your question. Mm-hmm. Now, Mozella's going to forensically look at your handwriting and say, this is what you need to do, blah, 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 on that. Well, we're going to look at the energy on that. It's going to be beautiful. We're doing that twice.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we're doing it once at Everything But Rocks. And then on March 4th now, I just found out also, which is kind of cool, is that we're going to be, March 4th, we're going to be doing the panel again. But we're going to be in Sun City this time.
From one side of town to the other.
Exactly. It's the place of spiritual wisdom in Sun City.
Okay. Is that a new place?
It's a newer place, yeah. I guess I've never been there before. I'm kind of excited about it. I just got a message from Mozella that we're almost sold out of that one.
That's fantastic.
So get your tickets now, you know, if you have to. I didn't want to forget this and that because this is one of those classes that I love doing.
Yes.
And the reason I love doing it is because it's kind of like working with you in a sense, that but on the male side. Dr. Emil Faith. One of my favorite doctors in the world. That he is a doctor of pharmaceuticals, actually. And he used to own a bunch of pharmaceutical places. Then he went old vitamin places and everything else. And now he's a medical intuitive that reads people and tells you what kind of vitamins you should take. Oh my gosh, he's awesomely amazing. I love working with him because we work differently. Because when I look at somebody, I see the structure wise, and then look at the organs and everything else, that he looks at what's missing. And so
that's interesting.
It is, and so when we get to work together, and that we're going to be at Storm Wisdom.
Oh, that's always a great place.
Oh my gosh, Charles at Storm Wisdom, I love them. Yes, absolutely. We're going to be at Storm Wisdom doing this, and we're going to have so much fun. The last time we did it, we filled the room up and everything else, and we had standing room only. We had like 10 people show up to pay ticket there.
Wow.
And they couldn't get in because we could not fit them in there.
Really?
We kind of set how many people we think we can read anyway.
Right.
And there is, a disclaimer saying that not everybody may get read if we go over that thing. That's, it's kind of a time-consuming thing, but yeah, that's going to be on. Did I tell you what day it was? The 24th
of March
or
February.
February 24th. Yeah, I said I want to say the good best because this is kind of cool. Because not saying those others aren't good, but this is really exciting for me because you make me do the medical intuitive thing.
Yes.
And Cyndee Movie makes me do the medical intuitive thing. But those are the two ladies that in my life, that's they really are important because they got me to where I'm at, and basically in a lot of ways. You know, you introducing me to Cyndee Movie, Cyndee
yes,
Movie being
yeah.
my first student, and you helping me through a lot of crisis in my life and figuring out my life in a spiritual sense. Cyndee Movie pushing me, going, "Oh my God, that class was great. Let's do more. Let's do more. Let's do more. What else do you have?" And then I'd come to you and say, "What else should we do?" And then we made up this wonderful class, which everybody loved. It was no expectation class
Yes.
that ran for, I think it was 4 weeks. Remember that?
Yes,
It was,
yes.
and Cyndee Movie, she stuck it out. She went to every one of those.
Yes.
Let's do more. Let's do more. Because what else do you have? What else do you have? She was
Right.
always hungry for it. So it made me want to have more classes and
Yes,
everything else.
yes.
And so you two, but you two also are the ones that make me work on your neck every time I see you.
Yes. Because we carry everything.
Because you
on
guys
our
both
shoulders.
carry everything on your shoulders, and I know the points, and I can see it, and everything else is just a lot of fun. So, girl, now
Yes.
it's you. What do you have going on
Oh,
up here? Where are you anyway? Where are we?
We are currently we're in Pine Grove, California, which
Pine
is
Grove, California.
just north of Jackson,
Yeah, that's what-
which is southeast of Sacramento.
Oh, how beautiful is that?
Yes, we're in the Sierra foothills. It's absolutely beautiful here.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I moved here. Leo and I moved here a little over 3 years ago, and
Has it been that long already?
It has. Isn't that amazing?
Wow, this is my only second trip here too.
Yeah. Yes. What is with that?
I don't know. The backyard is so beautiful. The front yard is so gorgeous. But the backyard drops off into the forest.
You're right. It's oak and pine.
Oak and pine,
Right.
exactly. You just walk back there onto their balcony and it just drops off right into the forest, and it's just like, whoa.
It's like living in a tree house.
It is, exactly.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, not taking up your time.
That's
or anything.
okay.
Yeah, 1 minute to tell me. No, just kidding. I'm joking.
So January was my busy month, so I don't have as much scheduled for February yet, but a lot of stuff always comes up at last minute. But I do have a numerology class that I'm going to be teaching at the Om Shanti Wellness Center in Jackson. And then I am also teaching, like I said, I'll be doing an
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Wellness Center. That's where you were going to be teaching.
That's where I was
that.
going to teach the
Yes,
class at.
the-
Yes,
the
that's
Reiki
why it
class.
sounds familiar.
That's why. Yes,
Okay.
that's why it sounds familiar.
Yes.
But before that, this coming weekend, Linda J. French and I are doing a full moon goddess retreat
Hi, Linda.
at the Evergreen Retreat Center here in Pine Grove. And this is an overnight. We're calling it a sleepover on steroids, where we are going to be celebrating the blue moon and the goddess energy. So it's going to be fantastic.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited with these.
Oh, me too. I can't wait. We've got 8 women signed up now, and I think we only have room if somebody wants in last minute, or maybe for
What
2
day is
more.
this?
This is this Friday. Yes.
I wonder if I could stay in next year.
No, this is for girls only. Sorry.
I can dress up like a little girl.
And then at the end of the month, I'm going to be teaching an encaustic painting class for my painter friends. I'm teaching at the MIY studio in Martell on the 25th. It'll be an all-day encaustic painting. And if you don't know what that is, go to my webpage, All Done Art, and check it out.
All done art.
All Done Art.
Oh, yes, I like
Yes.
that. All done art.
If you want more information on the psychic stuff that I do, the intuitive side of me, my webpage is cynthiadunselph.com. No hyphen.
Now, Dunn is D-U-N-N.
DUNN P is in Paul, H is in Henry.
Nice. Paul and
Yes.
Henry. Good.
Yes.
I love that. So it's interesting. So what dawned on me is you got some lots of great stuff coming up here and everything else.
Yes.
So I have a question for you. What was our whole theme this weekend of questions? What was the theme?
You know, for me, what kept coming up was the idea of labels and how much we own our labels. If you're told that you're smart, or you're told that you're klutzy, or that you have a bad back, any of these things have become labels that we get stuck in. And I think what we kept telling people over and over and over again is to re-examine these labels, to look to see if do they really still fit you. And if they don't, then don't own that label. Let it go.
Exactly. Absolutely, honey. I 100% with you on that. We talked about that. It's like I when people ask me a medical intuitive question on that, and that I say you have back issues, I never say you have a bad back.
Right, right.
Because
then it's like you're talking to the back.
absolutely, and that's what we said is that each one of the parts of our body has its own soul and everything
Right.
else. So if you think your back is a soul, and let's say it's part of your child, it's part of who you are, and everything
Right.
else, that would you say you're bad? You're a bad person. You're a bad thing. You're bad. No, you don't. You don't say that kind of thing
Right.
to these two people.
Right.
So you don't. Why would you tell you about your back being bad? I have a bad arm. I have this. I have bad
Right.
this. That. And
You
everything.
have things neting your attention.
There
just,
you go.
Just
I
like
that.
a child.
Exactly. Yeah, need attention. Our cat. that loves on me constantly. I love this cat. It's like never had nothing to do with me until I started talking to you.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
yes,
wow.
the energy. All about
It's
the energy.
All about the energy.
So what was the theme for you?
Well, the interesting thing was the thing labels was a big thing. Yes, absolutely. But the thing was self-worth. A lot of self-worth things, and that,
That's part of those labels.
Well, it is. It is. Is that am I worthy of this? Do I care about this? And is it part of me? Who am I? And everything else. That you listen to this, and that people question themselves. Think about this. A person will leave their family and that because they aren't happy. And then when they get away from their family, they question, "Did I do the right thing?"
Oh, yes, right.
Well,
Questioning the decisions.
It's questioning the decision if they are the right thing and they do the right thing.
Excuse me.
That's all right. And we do. You have to understand, if you made the decision, that you stick with the decision you made. What the universe has put in motion must stay in motion. And a part of this is why did you leave? Because you weren't happy. Are you going to go back to something you're not happy as because it's going to change, you think? No.
Well, then, even bigger than that, these outside things aren't what happiness is about anyway.
Right.
Happiness
Absolutely.
doesn't come from outside situations or outside circumstances, people, whatever it is. Happiness comes from the decision to be happy.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yep.
It's that simple, is that you're not going to own, I'm an unhappy person.
Exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so many of us do that. I even myself, I've come to realize that when things were not going well outside, when money wasn't flowing the way I wanted it to, or there wasn't a job, or whatever it was, whatever issues outside of me weren't going the way that I wanted them to, I had this idea that, well, things aren't going well, so I should feel bad. And that is the silliest thing, and I realized years of energy that I've kind of thrown away and wasted. Although I hate to use the word wasted because there is no. It's all about experience, right?
Right. Exactly.
But I could have used it more constructively by just shifting to, okay, well, the outside circumstances aren't where I want them to be, but that doesn't mean I have to be there too. I can be happy even if these things are not working.
Exactly.
And-
Absolutely.
And why not?
Exactly. Why not?
Yes.
How-
Yes.
it's as simple as that, and people think there's a lot of things that they have to work at and do things because there's gurus out there, and I'm not going to place names or anything else, is that they give you a list of things you have to do to become happy.
Yes, and all it is it really a
It's
flipping
your
a
own,
switch.
exactly. It's your own decision anyway, and that
Right.
is that you're going to follow these lists, and that is like, okay, this is a list for somebody else to be happy. They made this list to make themselves happy,
Right.
Not that everybody else. That you have to find your own happy. There's a
Right.
cartoon I saw the other day. It was really funny because you and I were talking about this happy
Mm-hmm.
and being just saying I'm going to be happy. There's a cartoon I saw right after you and I talked about it. Is this guy is standing there and he looks over and this other person was holding a sign that says I'm happy, and he goes, "Where'd you find that? I've been looking all over for that."
Yes, exactly.
And
Yeah.
the cartoon, it just kind of sums it all up. Is that he found it. Now tell me how you found it.
Right,
I
right.
can't.
And instead, the sign belonged there all the time. It was
Absolutely. He has his own sign, and absolutely,
Right.
it's
He created
perception.
his own sign.
Exactly, it's all about perception. It's the thing
Yes.
is that I can't tell you the microphone in front of you looks, okay, how you see that microphone.
Right.
I see it differently than you, and then we can describe the outside of the personality of it. That but we don't know the intricates of it. I may have a whole different look of it
Because you have a different perspective.
because I have a different perspective.
Right.
And that's the thing is that I can't tell you how to be happy because that's your perspective,
right.
and how you're going to see how
And
to be
my
happy.
journey.
In your journey too, and that
Because it isn't an end result. Once you achieve some of the things that you put out there for your desires, as soon as you achieve those, then you're onto something else.
Absolutely.
It's never perfect.
Right.
It's all about how to get to that place. So you might as well enjoy it.
Yep, absolutely. So, Cyndee, what I'm going to tell you to make you happy is
Yes.
you go have this 16-ounce ribeye. That is, this cut is going to be 3 inches thick. Okay, it's going to be medium rare, and the
Yeah.
blood is going to just be pouring out and everything else. And I want you to have this big slab of butter on top of this.
gosh.
This is going to make you really happy.
Yeah,
okay?
right. That and the heart attack and
Right,
all that
exactly.
afterwards.
Well, it's because it's perception wise. I'm looking at you going
Yeah.
perception wise. I think I could have a big steak would make me happy. and
Well,
that-
then you should have a big steak.
exactly. Don't push that onto somebody else.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
It's my happy.
Right.
And I'm going to keep it. I decided I'm going to be happy. This is what makes me happy. You know, it's really funny. Cyndee Movie and I had that conversation about happiness, and that is that, you know, a person can make you happy, but that doesn't make you happy.
Exactly. It always has to come from inside.
Absolutely.
I know so many people that have everything they need, everything they want, and they're still miserable.
Why?
Yeah, because they think it comes from outside.
Exactly.
That it's never enough.
It's never enough. That you hit it right on the nose there.
Yeah.
Is that people perceive it as what they have, but they perceive what they don't have more.
Right.
And-
They
and so-
focus on the lack.
Exactly. So when you focus on the lack, you see what you don't have, not the mounds and mounds of stuff you actually do have.
Right, exactly.
So they say it as lack of.
Exactly. And if it's not everything you want and you're focusing on the lack, you are on an energy level creating the very thing that you don't want. You're creating more of the lack.
Wasn't that also a thing this weekend?
Yes, it was.
It was-
What you put your attention on.
Absolutely. What you want, what you don't want the most is what you put your attention on is what you're going to get the most of.
Exactly.
And-
Whether that is illness or physical, manifestation.
Right.
The money in the bank or whatever
Money
it is.
in the bank, yes.
Yes.
Well, remember on the way trip here that you and I are talking, I'm telling you, it's like, I don't want to drive in snow. It's like, oh my God, it's kind of scary. You know, I'm telling you, I'm on my way. But then you said, well, be careful, blah, blah, blah. And my phone reset it because I was going to go around the mountains to
Right,
come here.
right.
My phone reset it so that I had to go through all the mountains. And I kept complaining and whining, I don't want to drive through snow. I don't want to drive through snow.
So you got lots of snow.
I got tons of snow. I'm pushing snow. I'm going slick roads. Everything I didn't want, I got more of.
Until you relaxed.
And that was the weirdest thing. And I told you that. I said, as soon as I realized, this is not bad. This is not a bad drive. It's not bad. I'm doing okay here and that. And it was like there's a line was drawn on the road.
Really?
All of a sudden, there was no snow, no ice, and it was clear. And I've been driving. It was 24, 26 degrees and that and everything else. As soon as I looked down and I saw that there's no snow, and there was like a line in the road, just all of a sudden stopped.
Huh. Interesting.
It was 44 degrees out.
Yeah. But as soon as you relax and just accept it as it is and focus on what you want.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I saw in the distance for many miles, that for almost 50 miles, I saw in the distance Mount Shasta covered in snow, this huge mound in that. And all I'm thinking to myself is, I don't want to have to cross that. I don't want all that snow. How am I going to get through this?
Yeah.
And I kept thinking that for
All that
50
resistance.
miles. All that resistance. I see this huge mountain for 50 miles. And all of a sudden it's like, I'm not going to have to cross that. I know in my heart I'm going to go around it. I've been through this drive before. I know that. I'm not going to cross through it. I'm going to go around it. And everything's okay. The roads are all fine. There's trucks out there. I was okay with it. And seriously,
Everything always works out.
all of a sudden that road was clear.
That's how energy works.
It does.
In everything.
Everything we do, exactly. It promotes us in many different ways that to see it. I look at it. That mountain was my how I feel about things. You know, it's
Exactly,
like, it
your
was huge.
resistance.
Resistance. It was huge. I saw it as this massive mountain that I'll never get over because of all the snow and ice and everything.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of snow up there and everything else. That was my resistance.
Yes.
Then
Yeah.
it was like, no, I don't have to. I can go around it. I don't have to go
And then
through
all of a
it.
sudden the road is clear.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's our
Perfect
life.
metaphor.
Perfect metaphor for it, and it works. And that was a lot of questions we had,
Yes.
about this. Is
Yeah, especially because you were there. A lot of the focus was on health issues.
right,
And,
absolutely,
and people owning their health issues. So we got to talk about labels, and then
Right.
we got to talk about where are you putting your attention? Are you putting
Absolutely.
your attention on the healthy things that you're doing, or are you putting your attention on what's not working?
absolutely. Do you remember that story when we were in Phoenix, and there was this lady that used to come to every one of our Tune In Tuesdays, and I didn't think of it until now because of what a great story that was. Is she would ask us the same questions about her diseases all the time.
Right.
She focused. That's all she focused on was her sickness, her sickness, this, her sickness. That. I don't remember. It was something that was lymphoma or something like that. I'm not sure what it was, but
Fibromyalgia or something
maybe
like
it's
that.
yeah,
Yes.
no, it was fibromyalgia. Yes, that's
Yes.
what it was exactly. And we walked her out to her. Actually walked her out to her car after one of the shows because it was a late night and everything
Right.
else. And she kept asking me questions, and I led her to the edge of the street and everything. And I seen on her car, she drove this convertible, really cute little convertible on that, but she had on Fiber Girl. On
Really?
there. And I said, what's Fiber Girl? I said, you eat fiber or something? No, I'm laughing. She goes, no, it's my fibromyalgia and everything.
So she totally owned.
She owned it. She owned it
Yes.
to the point where she got personalized plates that this is who she was and that.
Right.
And so she kept putting so much energy into it.
Well, unfortunately, for a lot of people, illness serves them.
Yeah.
It helps them to opt out
Right.
of responsibilities of life.
Yeah.
So if you have that mindset, you're never going to be well.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And we're not saying, and please remember, we're not doctors or anything else. We don't play one on TV anymore. But the thing is that we're not saying that diseases are in your head.
No, but there is an energy basis to.
Absolutely. There is.
And if you own what is going on with you,
Yes.
you're holding on to it.
And that's interesting because I wanted to ask you about that because I heard you say to somebody this weekend, you said that it's always energy then physical.
Right. It happens, all dis-ease happens in the energy field and the energy level of your system before it shows up in the body. So which is the wonderful thing about working with systems like Reiki, is that you can start to move that energy before it starts showing up in the body.
Right.
Yes. And a lot of it is old stuff, old
It
guilt,
is,
old
isn't it?
anger, old resentment, old pain, all of that. You hold on to it on the energy field or the emotional level, and eventually it will show up in the body.
Absolutely. But I want to put a twist to this because
Yes.
when you said that, I thought about that and everything because I always say energy, then physical, then energy. Because what happens is that somebody can get a smack in the shoulder or something like that, and they relate that to something else. And they hold on to that smack on the shoulder and that so long that it manifests even more pain.
Oh, interesting.
So
Yeah.
physical can manifest even, I think, spiritual.
Do you think it's because it's a trigger to a past event?
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly right. Because so
it's still sort of on the energy level, but
It's
it's just ends up being triggered.
right because what we put energy into is we're going to get out.
Right,
It's like,
right,
oh my God.
always.
My dad used to hit me in that shoulder all the time. Now my dad's gone, and you're thinking about that
Yes,
and that
yes.
abuse or whatever else, and that. So now you're adding energy to it.
Exactly, and now you have a really painful shoulder.
Absolutely. Where versus it was just a little bruised,
Right.
and now it's actually. I went to the
frozen
doctor.
shoulder,
Exactly.
yeah.
I went to the doctor because it's frozen now. I have a tear in there and everything else.
yeah.
That you know what? If you're going to look for it really hard, you're going to find it.
Exactly.
It's like reading Facebook. If you're going to look for something wrong on Facebook, you're going to find it.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Because you're putting your attention on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
it's everybody always says it's like, how come when I buy a red car, all of a sudden I see red cars all over the place? And that is because now you're aware of it. You have that
You're
attention.
focusing
You're
on
focused on it because it's your car. My car's a red car. My car's a red car. My car's a red car. Oh, look at all these red cars.
Yeah, yeah.
So we manifested that. And it's funny that something you taught me was that when we ask for something, we can get it in that sense way, because we play those games about the cars.
Sure. Yes, yes.
The yellow
manifesting
car.
Manifesting games.
Manifesting games, and we play that game, and it always is true.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing, especially when we focus on something, we're manifesting it.
Yes, exactly.
So it's the same game that we
and
play.
That's both good and bad.
Heck yeah.
It's important to really pay attention to what you're putting your focus on.
We could even get deeper into that as the aspect of that. We wish that we could make money in that, and we want money, we want this, we want that, and we start manifesting this and that, but something happens to make money, like your grandma dies, and leaves you money. I have money. Oh, my grandma's dead. Did I manifest that? So it's, I get those questions, so I have to bring that up, is that no.
No.
It was set. Oh, hey. Your phone.
Noelle says hello.
Hi, Noelle. How you doing, dear? She can't hear us yet, but she will.
Yes.
Hi, Noelle. But it's a manifestation game, and we do that.
But you didn't cause your grandmother to die.
Oh, heavens no! I tell them that all the time.
Yes.
Because that's one of the biggest questions I get is that I want this, I manifest this money and everything else. Did I kill that person? And no, you didn't. Just
you
because
have that
you
many
want something.
people who are inheriting.
I have a few.
Well, that's good.
I do.
Those are
have
the
a
kind of
few.
people to hang out with.
I like those people. Yes. No. They new rich people sometimes are harder to understand than old money.
Yeah.
New money is different than old money. New money, sometimes everybody thinks everybody's stealing from them. So
yeah.
So it's and I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm just saying just some of the people I know that have new money.
Well, money has a lot of energy on it, and that's one of the problems for most people in trying to create it.
Right.
Is that there's so much energy on money, and so I would just want to remind everybody that money is just energy.
Yeah.
There's nothing magical about that piece of paper. You can create in all different kinds of ways other than that pile of money. In fact, focusing on the money actually slows down the creation process.
And I said, I don't know if you've heard me say that this weekend, is that we talked about that, is money isn't everything.
Right.
When I write a class, the last thing on the list is how much it is.
Right, exactly.
Because if you put the money on top of there,
Yes.
it slows the creation down, where people that are reading it no longer get it.
Right.
They're thinking about how am I going to come up with this money to
Yes.
take this class, not what the class is actually about.
If you focus on what it is you want to create, instead of worrying about how it's going to happen, you're putting the energy in the right place. You're putting the energy into the creation.
Right.
Let the universe, your higher self, whatever that is for you, let that energy figure out the details. They'll put the people and the opportunities and the situations in place once you are clear on what it is you want.
What the universe has put in place must stay in place. That's our
Yes.
journey. That's our
Right.
path. And we can't tell what path anybody is right or wrong,
Right.
because it's their path.
Exactly.
How
exactly.
they see it, perception and everything.
Yes.
So it's funny is that a lady actually this weekend came to me and she goes, I'm never going to be rich. To herself. She's talking about herself.
So that's
It's like,
pretty.
well, you're putting that out there? She goes, no, I just know that for a fact.
Oh my gosh!
I said,
so
so
of
you're
course.
telling the universe that? She says, no, I'll just give my money away. My kids will get it. Everybody will get it. I'll just give my money away. I'll never be rich.
Wow.
And it's like, wow, okay. So wouldn't you like to try it, though, just once,
Really? Yeah,
just
have some
see what it'd be
fun.
like,
Yeah.
before you give it away to your kids, take a great trip or something.
Yeah, really.
And she looks at me and she says, well, what's the difference of knowing I will never be rich and saying I'll never be rich?
Well, there is no difference because you can say, I'm going to create money, but if you don't believe it, if that knowing is I'll never be rich, the universe doesn't listen to the words; they listen to the feeling.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you feel that you're never going to reach, then it doesn't matter what you say and how many vision boards or whatever. If you don't believe that you can receive and be prosperous, then it'll never happen.
Absolutely. So the cool thing about this is in the manifestation of that is that it comes with an energy.
Right.
We have to feel an emotion to create.
Right. It all
This
comes from where we
manifested.
feel, which goes back to
Absolutely.
being happy.
Exactly.
You can't create if you're depressed.
What about
Yeah.
being angry? Because angry has more energy than depression.
It is. That's a way up.
Okay.
Yes, but that's not where you want to stay either. You don't want to stay in that.
You don't want to manifest that anger. No.
No, exactly.
God, I want this so bad.
Right.
I'm going to hurt something.
Exactly. Gratitude is a wonderful place to
yeah,
be.
absolutely.
From there, acceptance and joy and happiness. So whatever you can do to get yourself up that emotional scale is really important.
Right. Well, you got to think of gratitude when you said that. I can really tell when I forget to do my gratitude morning and my gratitude night. I do that constantly.
Yes.
I always do my gratitude morning, gratitude
Sure.
night. I'm thank you, and thank you. It's interesting is that there's a cult-like feeling with that gratitude.
Interesting.
Is that thing? Because there's actually, I was talking to somebody that got out of, I won't say the religion or anything else, that they got out of this religion. They were talking about that they had to say their gratitudes every day. And and it had to be in front of somebody so somebody saw them say their gratitudes.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And it was a cult-like situation, that, but they always had.
It's a lot of energy with that.
It is a lot of energy. But my whole thing would be is like, are you really listening to me? These are my secrets. This is what I want. Don't tell anybody what I want, you know? It was like,
Yeah.
seriously, Mom, go away. I got to do my gratitude now. But you think about that, you as growing up in that, I know families where the parents would be in the room when the kids said their prayers.
Right.
It's the exact same feeling and thought process and I remember my parents tried that with me. And then they just got
That's a private thing.
Oh, it is. It's,
Yes.
it's private. It's private how we talk to our higher self, who we talk to,
Right,
whatever it is
exactly.
that we're talking to ourselves. It's a private thing.
Yeah.
And the emotion that comes with it is
Yeah.
private too. We don't need to be in it.
Exactly. So I know we're getting ready to finish up. So why don't you
Absolutely.
tell us once again how to find you?
Well, you can go to rodlyman.com. You can find me. That's really
Great.
simple that way. Or rodlymanaz@gmail.com. Send me an email and you can get a hold of me that way. I also have a phone number that I can't remember.
But email always works.
Email works best as always because those phones that sometimes, especially driving through the mountains, that
Right.
you always have phone service and that, and I love it. Where can people get a hold of you, dear?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Cynthia Dunn Selph, DUNN-SELPH again. And again, my websites are cynthiadunselph.com and All Done Art. That's an easy one to find, alldonart.com. So find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram. I'm also on Instagram at alldone7 and my websites. And if you have any other questions or would like a private reading, I do phone readings and readings in person. Give me a call.
Yes,
Or send me a message.
Send her a message. That she's awesome. All I kept hearing this weekend was how right on Cyndee always is, and so. But I've known that all my life too,
Yeah.
anyway. So she's a pretty amazing person. That.
Yeah, and right back at you, buddy.
Yeah. On behalf of Cyndee Mooby, who would love
Yes.
to have been here and everything.
Yes, thanks,
else,
Cyndee, for letting me sit in for you.
Absolutely. And also that you can find the Rod and Cyndee podcast on Facebook, and we're also
Great.
on Instagram, the RNC podcast.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, and we got some really great stuff that you could check it out. We're also starting this year is that we're going to start giving away some stuff on some podcasts and that. So we're dealing with getting some things. It went over so well for the leggings and that, and so we're going to be doing more of that.
Great. Get
Absolutely.
some sponsors.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we're thinking, babe, how cool it'd be if we got like an iPad or something like that to give away, and that because I don't know how to use one. Then I could play with it before I sent it out. How cool is that? On behalf of Cyndee Mooby and behalf of everybody out there that we love and care about, you guys have a great day and have a wonderful night. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.